And we're back, and we just finished watching 1996's The Frighteners, written and directed by Peter Jackson. The story is about a young man, Frank Bannister, played by Michael J. Fox, who has a business of, I guess, communing with the dead.
He's a fraud.
He is a fraud. Well, not exactly, because he has, I guess, co-workers that are from the other side.
Yeah, but he creates the problem so that he can fix it.
I guess. Okay.
So he's a fraud.
I also forgot to mention that we've invited a special guest to come review this movie with us today. We have Uncle Jay.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Jay. Hi.
Hi,
Hey, everybody. Hi.
So let's go around the table. I guess impressions. Jay, since you're our guest, would you like to go first?
Well, I love this movie, especially Arlie Army. He's the guy that's like, "What's your major malfunction? Sound off if you got a pair," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That guy's my favorite guy.
Yeah, have you seen this before?
Yeah, I've seen this
okay.
before for sure. This was like the third time I've probably seen it.
I thought it was. I mean, I never actually watched the whole thing. This is probably the first time I've ever seen the whole thing in one go. I've seen chunks of it, but it was good. It's not like my favorite movie, but it's got its points. The army guy, he's like always the army guy, and pretty much everything I've ever seen him in. Yeah. I think, and the thing that's funny about that guy is I think he wasn't an actor or whatever. Like, was he an army guy?
He may have been.
But I'll tell you exactly what was done with that. That guy was a sergeant, and he was consulting on Full Metal Jacket, and went up and said to the guy that was playing army guy, "Yo, this isn't how you do that. Let me show you how to do it." And then they were like, "That guy's hired." Like, he just ad-libbed all that.
He was also the dad in American Beauty, right? Wes Bentley's dad. Was he?
Was he Wes Bentley's dad?
Oh no, I'm confusing him with Chris Cooper. No,
yeah, I don't.
Oh my gosh, I am so out of it right now.
I don't think that guy's ever been in like any kind of.
I'm gonna cut that right out.
Subtle prestige drama about home life in the suburbs. I can't
with
imagine.
Gay undertones too.
with gay undertones.
Aren't we supposed to be talking about
yes.
Hey, Arlie, we want you to play it real subtly gay.
Tangents. This was your first time. What did you think?
I thought it was okay. I mean, like I said, it wasn't my favorite thing in the world. I found one thing about it, which I guess you need to suspend your disbelief on, is the fact that people were so willing to just jump on he's a psychic, jump on that bandwagon, especially Lucy. She was just like all in, even after he was like, "Yeah, I'm a total fraud." She was just like, "No, you're not. It's got to be real," and and then she like falls in love with him. I mean, I understand her marriage wasn't really the greatest thing on earth, but her husband wasn't even like cold yet, and she's just like, "Let's go to dinner."
Well, it's the '80s, and they didn't have enough time.
They had a terrible relationship.
Who did?
Ray and Lucy.
Ray
he
and
stole
Lucy.
her money.
Not cool.
Yeah, that was really just not cool.
Yeah.
You're stealing
Women need to keep an eye on the men.
Money.
It wasn't even lunch money. It was like $16,000, right?
Yeah, and he spent it on exercise equipment.
Oh, is that what I didn't?
No, but he said he had a bad investment.
Yeah,
so
it was a bad investment. It wasn't.
I could picture him spending on exercise equipment.
I mean, he bought gnomes in his yard, so who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. What did you kids think about it? G?
It was okay.
It was just okay. What could have made it better?
I don't know. I just didn't. It was okay. Just okay.
All right.
Something didn't click for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a good favorite character?
No.
No. How about you, Olive G?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, what was it?
It's just that old lady that lived with the girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of insane.
Was she though?
No, she really wasn't.
She wasn't lying about her.
The mother was.
She was evil.
The mother wasn't.
Patricia was evil.
She was real. Honestly, the mother was actually the only one who seemed to know what was going on, and she was the only one that was actually kind of sane. Although
she did reach out to Frank to help them.
Yeah, she was trying to get help for her daughter. She's like, "Oh, the dark spirit has returned," or some craziness like that.
It's evil.
Evil. That Trisha girl is using Ouija boards to communicate with her dead boyfriend.
Jake Busey and his giant teeth.
Well, she was like 15. How old was he?
Oh, that's Jake Busey.
That's was ridiculous.
He's got those giant horse teeth.
He's still like hugging her and gross.
Yeah, he was definitely way older than her.
That's really gross.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who picked up on that?
You're right.
Yes, it was probably really inappropriate, and he
80s.
was probably her first. And
anything bad, the answer is 80s.
Answer is the 80s.
It was just the 80s, Pop. No parents were thinking.
This movie actually came out in '96. Much simpler times. Not like the.
No one was thinking when they made this movie. No one was thinking when they made this movie.
It was innocent. I mean, I think that was another thing about this movie.
It was innocent.
Can I finish my sentence? Jeez.
Oh, sorry. We're all talking over each other.
Yes, this is not a presidential debate.
Sorry.
I feel like, to your point about her just jumping on this bandwagon of Frank, I feel like it's a small town. There's really not much to do. You pretty much know your neighbors. I think that's why Patricia's mom knew to reach out to Frank. I think a lot of people.
Well, he's throwing his cards around at funerals.
Yes. But I mean, you had a faction of people in the town that didn't like Frank, like the newspaper woman, right?
Oh God, she did not.
I'm sure other people didn't particularly care for Frank. I'm sure going to the funeral to look for business wasn't really a good idea. But I think you also had people in the town who appreciated Frank, like the sheriff or whatever he was, Troy Evans, who's like that character actor who's always in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had people like Patricia's mom who understood that there was something about Frank that understood about this kind of dark undercurrent of, I guess, paranormal behavior that was happening in the town. I feel like for a movie from '96, it's pretty good. It still holds up. I mean, some of the effects are not as polished as something, say, from the 2000s, but...
Wait, can I say something?
Sure.
Dad, you said that cloak thing wasn't that great, right?
Like the fabric effects on the wraith or whatever, when the bad guy was in that wraith form, they weren't the best. They were sort of like old original 3D graphics.
I never picked up on that. It looked exactly like that gumball thing, except animated.
Which thing?
What are you trying to say?
No. That thing from the movie was exactly like the one from that episode of Gumball.
I don't know. I don't remember which episode you're thinking of, but all I'm saying is like 3D, like fabric effects in 3D are way more smooth now. The way fabric folds and falls, it's just more natural when it's generated by a computer. Like, I mean, just look at like any cape on any superhero in any Marvel film. Batman, none of those things are real. The capes that they're wearing don't exist. When the actors running around, they're running around in just a leotard basically. Yeah. They put the capes in later, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it's done. And the capes now, or the cape in the Frighteners, I mean, basically all it was a cape flying around.
It looked good for what, 96?
I guess just to my eyes, because I've studied stuff like that. The 3D effects back then, I mean, you got to forgive it. It was 90. What'd you say? 96.
I guess I just thought it was fun because I don't really watch that many movies from 1996, but I've watched movies from before that looked more horrible.
Dragon Ball Z.
That was a bad movie. Oh my god, I can't believe you brought that up.
Dragon Ball Z, yeah. Okay. I'll give the Frighteners a leg up over Dragon Ball Z.
Wait, no, Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Who knows what the hell's going on with the Dragon Balls?
Alright, continue on Frighteners.
But as far as the other effects went, with the ghosts and whatnot, they looked okay.
I didn't like how they were all sticky. It was gross.
I think that was like the point. They were losing ectoplasm.
I know, but I'm just not used to actors like having snot coming out of their nose. It's disgusting.
Oh yeah, that one guy.
Yeah. And I know Olive, you were pretty freaked out by
John Astin's
the judge, that character.
Yeah,
Yeah, she actually had to hide behind a pillow at one point.
Like the jaw part.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
And also that dog, I knew that wasn't real.
That was pretty fake. That dog was too skinny to be real.
Yeah.
What what was up with the dog that he chose not to go to heaven? That dog had unfinished business. He was looking for vengeance or something. He couldn't rest.
So what do you guys think about the story? I mean, I feel like it's a simple story, nothing too crazy. I think it still holds up for a movie that's now over 20 years old. I mean, I feel like it's decent. It's fun. It's scary, but not too scary. I think it
I
plays to
was
a pretty broad audience.
I mean, I liked how it started out with like the one premise of he's a con man who works with ghosts. It almost had a very like that's the sort of plot you'd see in like an old movie, like an old black and white film. Was this a remake of like an old black and white film?
I don't think so. I
get
the guy that did Lord of the Rings did it.
Yeah, Peter Jackson.
Yeah. He was in it. Did you see him in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, for like a split second.
I never recognized that before. I like the twist at the end.
The biker guy. He was
Yeah, the
Peter
biker
Jackson,
guy,
right?
the punk guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't know if it's a family member, but the baby in the bouncy thing is Billy Jackson. So I don't know if he's
Billy
a son.
Jean Jackson?
Not Billy
Oh,
Jean,
that's
just
clever.
Billy Jackson.
I could have
that baby
sworn you
was
said
cute.
Billy Jean.
And also that baby like stopped bouncing when the ghost told them
Oh yeah.
like to stop bouncing around.
That was weird. Ghosts don't
That's cute.
speak in babies.
That was a cute scene.
I guess only babies under.
I've seen this a few
Living
times.
Dead.
I don't remember it when the first time I saw this was. I don't think I saw this in the theater. It might have just been on TV or something. But I genuinely enjoyed it. Again, I feel like this is a broad kind of movie. I don't think it gets a lot of attention.
No, it's pretty much ignored. Nobody ever talks about the Frighteners.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's good. It's got a lot of really good actors in it. I always wondered what happened to Trini Alvarado. She was big at one point, and then she sort of disappeared. And she was strong in this. I mean, granted, you're saying that she plays like a kind of like,
my husband's dead. Okay,
let's date.
Let's go on a date.
Yeah.
lady, but
I remarked about that. You said that she checked out of that marriage long before that, but
I think so. I mean, it seems pretty indicative. She wasn't
I still
into the
think
husband
that
at
was
all.
kind of rude.
Well, sure. I mean,
Well,
yeah, she probably should have waited like a month before.
Let's be
going
honest.
out.
A month.
Her husband was kind of a
A
tool. He was.
He was gross too. Like that scene where she's watching the movie and then he comes over to her on the bed.
Oh.
And he's still fully clothed, thank God.
And he says the tiger is getting lonely.
He purrs at her.
Yeah, there was some. There's that one scene with the judge and the sarcophagus where
Yes,
I was like, what is that doing in this movie? and just the line afterwards where he's like, I like it when they stay still.
Oh, gross!
I wasn't gonna bring that up because I didn't know. I was like, oh my god.
We took the
moving
kids
up
to
and
go
down.
see The Shape of Water, Jay. So we're pretty laissez-faire with stuff like that.
Yeah, that.
All right, yeah, I wasn't sure.
If any,
Up and down,
yeah.
Ray in the sarcophagus.
His thing rear end.
Wait, what?
Did you see like his butt came out of the sarcophagus and then it I'm not even gonna describe it. I'm not even gonna describe it.
But yeah, if there's any parents who are very squeamish
about stuff like that, this is
About
probably
my
not.
teeth.
if you want to fast forward
He
that
was
scene
not
or
even
avoid the film, I don't know.
Well, I feel like this is probably, what would you say, 13 and up? Or 12 and
Yeah,
up
this is probably like a PG-13 type
deal.
Yeah.
That's
So,
stupid.
well,
So you guys didn't think it was scary?
No. It didn't even jump scare me. I didn't find it weird at all. I thought that maybe you're right, like that death creature thing or the cloak creature. It was cool, but if it had better
If it just flowed a little bit, like especially around its head, it was like almost rigid.
yeah.
I kinda like how
hood
it
was
jumped.
Rigid. It was
And I
cool
liked
the way it
its
was like
fingers.
darting around. That was pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah, I wonder at the time, because in '96 that would have been like, I can think what the web pages looked like in '96. So I'm wondering if that was really advanced for the time. What are the other '96 movies? Do they look better?
I don't know, but this is a Zemeckis film, and Zemeckis, I'm sure, would pour money into this, and he's got name enough recognition. I mean, I don't know. Well, before, like, Peter Jackson's first movie was the one about the two girls that, was it Heavenly Creatures with Kate Winslet? So
I think his first film was some like brutally violent horror film.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't done more of that, because I think I really
It's like
liked his
Brain Dead,
sensibility
I
in this movie.
Brain
And it's
Dead.
funny because as I'm watching
Let me
it, I'm
get
like,
some
this is the guy
zombies.
that does the whole Lord of the Rings thing. But it's like, I would love to see him do another kind of horror comedy type situation, because I think this was really good. I think if you're looking for kind of popcorn entertainment, something in the mood for Halloween, something scary but not too scary,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think this is like a decent
yeah, it
bit of
didn't.
filmmaking.
Yeah, I agree. It didn't really hit it out of the park for me, but it was good. It was fine. It was, like you said, an entertaining thing if you want to watch something that keeps the theme of Halloween or spookiness.
Scary.
And it's not, it's terrifying for kids. Like, both my kids were fine with it. They not, like Gracie said, there wasn't any jump scares. Or maybe there was, but they weren't like relentless. Like remember, Drag Me to Hell.
Oh yeah.
That was hilarious.
Olive couldn't take it. There was just too many jump scares.
There was not.
Well, for Olive, there was. That's fine. And I think the story was good enough, but not too complicated and
It wasn't really complicated at all.
It was pretty straightforward.
You got the initial setup, and then and plus they were building up for that reveal the entire movie. I mean, why are you going to mention the psycho killer and the lady in the house?
Right.
If they don't come back later on.
Right. But it was a nice plot twist too, because I think you're supposed to think that Patricia's mother is the kind of a heavy in this, but she turns out to not be.
Yeah, she turns out to. This movie came out in 1996. Patricia's mom dies.
Yes.
At Patricia's.
Yeah, I
At
think
Patricia's hands, probably.
Or
the spoiler
Patricia's knife?
exploration
Yes.
on this film is out the window.
Yeah, I don't think we need to say spoilers for this one because it's been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah,
Too.
over 20 years.
So what do you think would have made it a better film?
24 years.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, I just
No,
really like
that's great.
directing. That's it.
I'm always rounding numbers.
Better special effects. But
for the
that's
time.
a sign of the time. As far as from that particular time, the special effects are okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Make it tighter, probably a little bit stronger writing, especially when it came to
The Lucy's
character. I don't even know, like, did she really even need a husband? Like,
Probably not, but I think you needed to
it
kind
just-
of have
That's
sort
how she
of that.
was tied to that Frank guy, her husband.
Her husband's name was Ray.
I know, but her husband was like her link to Frank.
Oh, her husband was her link to Frank.
but Frank had already showed up at the house. I don't know.
I mean, he could have.
I mean,
he could have
she
just
approached
rolled like an
him
idiot
at
and
the
busted
funeral.
Lucy's.
He could have been
anyway.
her brother. He could have been her brother, basically.
Oh, yeah. Well, you still needed someone there, didn't you?
You did, but the fact that he was a husband, and even though...
Oh, the
even
fact that
though-
she moved on, yeah.
Even
okay,
though
I
she
can agree
checked
with
out,
that.
it sort of doesn't really cast her in the best light that she's like I said, he wasn't even cold yet. He wasn't cold, and she is moving on.
How do you know? Maybe time isn't what you think it is.
They were kissing and having a picnic, and this was like her husband just died a couple of days prior to that. It wasn't like 6 months later or even a year later.
Well, maybe it was a couple
6
of
months
weeks,
later.
Dad. You don't know. Well,
No,
it
there was...
Later.
got lost.
Is how many weeks
What I
is it
wanna
going to
know
take
is-
you to get over me when I dropped in?
80 million.
Does anyone find it strange that the ghosts fall through floors and ceilings and don't just get sucked into the earth? Like, why
Yeah.
are they walking around?
Yeah, how
Like,
come
why
they get
wouldn't they
solid
fall right
floor?
through the earth?
And why can't they fly up? And how come they can
know.
touch him?
That was a little bit
Yeah.
inconsistent.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it can alter your perception or perspective, but not how that the ghost can punch you and stuff. What
Well,
the
maybe
hell?
because he acknowledged their presence, he was more affected by them. Because when
So then how come like Lucy can't hit the ghosts?
because I guess at that point she hadn't. But did she really see what's his name's character at the end of the film? Do you
She
think
did.
She did. She
'Cause
did.
She remarked on how
He looked.
PISSCD he
Yeah.
looked.
You could
So
say
that's
the word.
bizarre.
Yeah.
And also, why did she think that she could freeze him and shock him back with like 100%, like no problem?
Yeah, and
That's-
well,
that's
he
one of
was
those
ready
suspend
to
your
shoot.
disbelief.
Yeah.
He was ready to shoot himself in the head, like roulette style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, seriously. That's why she fell in love. She was gonna blow his face off.
Obviously, he wasn't as committed to the relationship as she was, because he was thinking about not coming back at one point.
She should have waited for a little while longer. He almost got the bad guy, but
Well, she didn't
Well,
know.
I think she had to bring him back to life by 9 o'clock, or there would have been permanent cellular damage. That was the
but
law.
that's
was
another question. It was like 8:58 when she finally it was 8:58 when
yeah,
he
how did
started
she
the
fly
car.
back to?
It was 8:58 when he started the car, and then he crashed them into the wall as a ghost, obviously. By that time, it should have been later, and then somehow she got to the hospital before 9 o'clock
Yeah.
when she only had less than 120 seconds.
They could have. I think the editor kind of like just didn't care.
The
There
other
might have
is
been
like, they're in love.
inconsistencies in the
Spent 3
story.
days.
The editor has no concept of time. Maybe the editor was like a toddler.
No, the editor was not. The
I'm kidding.
editor wasn't a toddler.
You don't know that, Olivia.
Then how is he able to write the script?
The editor.
The editor doesn't write the script. He's the
The
one that
editor was
cuts
that
the
baby
movie.
that was floating.
Then how does my baby know when to cut the script? Or when
What?
To,
Well, you
editor-
don't know how this works, Olivia.
Yeah, the editor has nothing to do. We're,
well,
film theory from an 8-year-old. Okay. So anyway, okay, let's just wrap it up. 1 to 10. What did you think about it, Jay?
Is 10 the best?
10's the best.
One's the worst.
5 is completely.
I don't know. I'd probably give it a 5.
Like just flat average,
Mediocre.
mediocre film.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah, 5 or 6.
Okay. What about you, Gracie?
I'll give this movie a 4.9 for trying.
Really below average?
Below
It
average.
was just okay. Like I thought that the specter of death thing would have been cool if had it not been.
I would give it a 6. I think it's better than average. It's not great. It's an okay movie.
Growing up with all these good special effects, I don't
You got spoiled.
Yeah.
These kids are spoiled.
We gotta watch Waxworks with the kids.
Oh god.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
God.
Wait, wasn't that the one where, like, at the end of the movie, the old man gets his head pulled off
Pulled
or
off.
something?
Yes, like a corkscrew.
I never saw that movie. I'll have nightmares.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
should
so bad
review
it's
it.
good.
It's hilarious. It's got what's his name? Like John Steed. What was his
Yeah.
name in real?
Well, I don't know what his
I
name
forgot
in
what his
real
real
life.
name in real life was.
The guy
but
from the
the old Avengers
With Emma
with
Peel.
Emma Peel and
Oh yeah.
yeah, they got him, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's on a balcony at the end, and like the young people, of course, who have to live, they look up at the balcony, and like the old guy and his squad of old timers are fighting the monsters, and he's in a wheelchair that had been like kitted up with like knives and guns and stuff like
Oh
that.
my god.
And the old guy goes, "Run, run, get out of here!" And then a freaking werewolf, comes up behind the old man, grabs him by either side of his head, and he goes, "Oh my!" And the werewolf pulls his head right off.
Oh my God.
I love that movie.
Oh my! So
don't think I
British.
ever saw that movie.
Seriously, that's a stiff upper lip. You're getting dismembered by a werewolf, and you know. Oh my!
Not even screaming.
No scream. No, that's too undignified for a Brit.
What about you, Olive G? Scale of 1 to 10.
I give it a 6.
A 6.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to break with tradition, and I'm going to give it a 7
Okay.
because I think it's better than average. It's not a perfect film, but I think it still holds the test of time. It's ambitious for what it is. It's a horror comedy, I guess a little bit of drama there too, where there's those scenes where it gets, I guess, more serious when you explore the Michael J. Fox character. So I think all those elements combined, I feel like the effects for 96 are really good. I'm trying to think what other movies came out in that time in this vein. I can't really, did True Lies come out in 90? I'm sure the effects
Why
in
don't
that
you
were
look at
different, but it's a
Parents'
completely
Guide?
different movie. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 7. I highly recommend this, 13 and up. There isn't any nudity. There is some adult language, I want to say. There's a couple of curses.
Yeah,
Look at the
there's
Parents'
some
Guide.
cursing.
That's fine. So that's it from us. We will come back with Uncle Jay for another review.
Parents Guide! Parents Guide!
Wait.
Parents Guide!
We'll do the Parents' Guide another time when
Yeah,
there's a
we'll
little
do
bit
the
more
Parents'
time.
Guide.
But say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
And also good night.